back in House Finance is legislation for the Pawtucket Red Sox, and I have House Finance Committee member, Representative Anthony Giarrusso. Thank you for joining me today.
Thank you for having me. Always nice to be here.
You pretty much have to go downstairs in about 5 minutes.
Yes.
So taking up once again this piece of legislation that we've seen a sub-A version of, hearing of amendments. Here we are. It's June 21st. We are now in the 11th hour. You've seen this proceed through the year, and here we are again in the waning days. What's your sense as to what's going to transpire today?
There's a House version, there's a Senate version, there's a version that was from last year, and it's like Groundhog Day. Every day it's like the same thing over and over again with some minor tweaks. So I'll find out a lot more about what this version is as soon as I go downstairs and see how the sub A or whatever it is this time, right? Sub A, sub B, whatever it is, I'll find out in a few minutes.
Well, you were here already this week. There was already another hearing taking place. We heard from Pawtucket Mayor Don Grabian. Talk with us about that, going back in this week to hear more. Did you get more information that you think enables you to be able to make an informed decision about this legislation?
I really don't think so, Kate. There's so much, there's a lot of weeds there, and it's, about property taxes, there's eminent domain, there's a lot of issues, and we certainly don't want to see people having to sell their properties because somebody's going to take over. So there's still a lot of things left that's not clear.
But do you think that today that these questions will be answered? What's on your list of questions to be asking?
Exactly that. What is the funding mechanism? Who's the backstop? Like who, if this does not work out, who is the ultimate backstop? They're saying that it's not the state, but they're not saying who it is. We'll find out. That's one of them. Eminent domain is a big thing. It's nobody wants to lose their properties because of whatever venture is going on.
And what are you hearing from your constituents?
Overwhelmingly, they do not want it. I believe there might have only been one person in the past 2 years that said that they want it, but overwhelmingly, they do not want. I mean, everybody is just like me, Kate. I love the PawSox.
You love baseball.
I love baseball, and I would love to see the PawSox stay. I wouldn't want them to leave. But at the same time, they are a private business, and if some factory wants to build another factory, the state's not going to get involved. So why does a baseball team have to be any different?
And as we said here today, we also, the X factor is the Pawtucket Red Sox themselves. There's been some talk this week that they're receptive to looking at what's coming out of the House. They have not been at recent House finance hearings. Does that raise flags with you?
It does. And at the same time, I wonder, as a business person myself, why are they not just going to Worcester? From what if the reports are accurate, unless it's a negotiating tool, Worcester is offering them an incredibly good deal, where I believe from what I've heard reported, they're only on the hook for $18 million, and the rest would be between the city and the state of Massachusetts. So why are we even here? Because we're not going to, nothing that I've seen is that lucrative that Rhode Island is going to treat them like that.
So let's play a little devil's advocate, if you will. If this moves through House Finance and it moves quickly to the House floor and we see it actually move forward, how do you think Rhode Islanders are going to react to this? GoLocal's recent poll with John Della Volpe, as you had mentioned with your constituents, only 13% strongly supported this. Do you see this as being an issue at the ballot?
I don't know about it being an issue at the ballot, but it should be a concern because, people, this is the kind of stuff that the average Rhode Islander does not like, where they say like these deals that it's in committee. An hour later, it's on the floor, it gets passed on the floor. Tomorrow, it's in the Senate, and then from there, it goes on to the governor's desk. That's what people don't like. Although, I mean, to give them credit, though, Kate, I mean, I'm not going to say that the whole thing is bad, because the PawSox have been in this building and all over the state a lot, the executives from the team. So we've heard a lot of stuff. So it's not really like last-minute stuff. I know it'll probably be portrayed that way, but we've had a lot of hearings on it. So it's not something that completely rises from the ashes.
So I know you've got to get down to House Finance, but while I have you here, you said you want to talk about the airport.
Oh, yeah. God almighty. I know we debated that for a long time, changing the name. And as I said yesterday on the floor, I'm not a revisionist historian. So I don't support changing a name. If someone was that good that he or she had an airport named after them, then why would we ever change it? That thing should be to the last day that we're ever here. Until the end of time, it should stay that way.
So you're pretty resolute in your feelings on the matter. So what of the argument, maybe from a tourism standpoint, it needed to be rebranded? What do you think of that argument?
I'm not buying that. I'm just not buying it. As a matter of fact, Representative Lima had a very good amendment, and I supported it and I spoke on it. And just to have two bites at that apple, call it the Rhode Island T.F. Green International Airport or something like that. We would not be the only state to have that many letters in the name of our airport.
Well, certainly that's been a big debate, but nothing bigger than the PawSox right now at House Finance. So Representative Giarrusso, I will let you go down to the task at hand.
Thank you.
Thanks for joining us.
Stay tuned.
Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back.